Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Monday edition of the program. It is Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Hope everybody had a great weekend. It is game week. Gators have spring football game this Thursday, 7:30 kickoff in the Swamp, the orange versus the blue. Who are you taking? We will ask JC here momentarily which team he's going to take. Good morning, JC. You're on the Titan MR hotline. How
That's
about
great.
That?
Hey, that's fabulous. Hey, who's going to have Anthony Richardson on it, the orange or the blue?
I have no idea, but I will say this. We'll talk. I went to their scrimmage on Saturday, and I'm going to leave it at this. It was not very good.
Okay.
Coach Napier was not very happy. I was not very happy.
Yeah.
The only bright spot, in my opinion, was the tailback from Louisiana that he brought. He is clearly our best tailback. I mean, it's not even close. He is a really good football player. We didn't complete many passes. As Coach Napier likes to say, and he does a phenomenal job answering questions. And I think Edgar Thompson wrote an article about it yesterday. I think I saw on Twitter, and the headline of it was talking about Coach Napier, too many penalties, but he never singles out a player where they do something bad or good in a scrimmage or practice. He's exceptional at the way he answers questions. But I'll just say this, because I have to be, as he says, we are a long ways away from being a very good football team. And he's going to have – I would not be surprised if we don't sign 10 to 12 players out of the transfer portal. We need help at every position. And it's like the draft, JC. It's not like, do we need a receiver? We need best available regardless of where they play. So it was not good, but it is what it is. And
I guess I don't know what else to say. Well, when I hear you say it's not good, I mean, I understand that it is April the 8th or whatever the date is, April 11th, excuse me. And I understand that, we are 4 strong full months and an off season away from fall practice when things really get cranking. And I understand that just about every coach in America probably isn't happy with where his team is at right now. So I think that, you have to put a little bit of context underneath this and understand that, when we bring in all these kids from the transfer portal, when we bring in new teams, new coaches, new everything, there's got to be some period of transition in the early stages. Now, I get it when you say practice was miserable or it wasn't good and all that, but to what degree does that mean? Does that mean it was as if these kids had never played football before, or is it not to where we need to be in September?
What did I tell you all last year about the roster?
You said what I used to say? Yeah, very little talent.
Okay, I'm just going to stick to that. And I'm just telling you that it is not SEC caliber roster. It will take him till 3 years to get it to where he is. However, they will be in the portal. Like, they're probably already in the portal. We have a couple of Facebook Lives here brought to you by Melton Law. John says Georgia has a couple of 5-star linemen available. Get them. Get any receiver you can get. Get any skill player you can get. Get any linebacker. I'm just saying it's no particular player. It's just and again, they're in a new system, learning a lot of things. But as Coach Napier says, Florida Gators have a long ways to go, and a lot of it has to do with lack of talent and depth. I'm just going to leave it at that. So yesterday, JC, I know a lot of people don't get into the Masters. It's my favorite sporting event in the world. I'm that guy that watches every minute of the telecast, regardless of what the outcome is, because I just think it's the prettiest place on earth. And obviously, I'm an avid golfer. But Scottie Scheffler has a chance to be. He's done something, and I heard this. He has a chance to do something. Well, he is. There's only 2 players in the world that have ever done what he and Tiger Woods have done. That is, win at least 4 tournaments, the Masters and the World Golf Match Play, all in the same year. But he has done this since Super Bowl Sunday.
Wow.
That's what, like a month and a half, 2 months ago?
He has had 4 wins in 56 days. And in that span, he has won over $9 million of purse money. And God only knows what types of business arrangements and endorsements he's gonna start collecting. He's a good-looking guy. He's young. He's extremely well-spoken. He seems to have traditional values that people enjoy when they throw their name or their label on somebody. Big family from New Jersey who ended up in Texas, going to the University of Texas, which is why I'm wearing this Horns hat right now. And I think the sky's the limit for him. Now, life is going to change, so we'll see how he handles it. I think life changed awfully fast for Jordan Spieth when he got off on that run and won 2 majors in 1 year. And so that may have gone too fast for him. But Scotty seems different to me. He's a little bit older. He's married already. He's got a lot of family support and a huge support system. I think the sky is the limit for him. And I like it because I like his demeanor. I like the way he sounds. I like the way he talks, the way he says, everything about him. And the way he plays golf is as good as it gets. And QB, as a University of Texas golfer and somebody and a school that's coming into the SEC, I found it appropriate this morning to bring you a question to see if you could answer it. And that is, what 3 golfers have won the Masters from the University of Texas? Can you name them?
Ben Crenshaw, Scottie Scheffler, and Jordan Spieth.
You didn't even hesitate. That wasn't even hard.
No.
Well, I thought you might have gotten caught up on Ben Crenshaw since he's a little bit older, but that is exactly right. And there are a bunch of others who have won other tournaments from that school, but the 3 Masters winners are those indeed. So that was very good on your part. Yeah.
What's crazy is, a lot of our listeners probably don't watch golf like we do, but, I picked Cam Smith to win. And he had it after he was down 3 shots. And this is what's crazy, Jason. This is how, they talk about sports being a game of inches. Doesn't matter what the sport. So we're going to recap real quick.
Yeah.
2 swings out of what, 270. That roughly, that's what I don't know how many shots he had, what his total score was, but 2 swings cost him the Masters. Think about, he birdies the first 2 holes, goes to 3. They both hit horrible drives. Scottie Scheffler's behind the scoreboard, gets a fortunate drop where he's wide open. He still hits a bad shot. Cam, who's probably the best wedge player in the world, hits a bad shot. Scottie, then, if people missed it on his 3rd shot, bangs one into the hill, and if it doesn't hit the pin, it goes by about 10 to 12 feet easily. Goes in for birdie. Cam makes bogey. So everything that he just did in the first 2 holes is wiped out. And then Cam hits a phenomenal 5-iron on hole 4, which I don't know why he went after that flag stick, but it was dead on line and about 3 feet short, ends up in the bunker. So long story short, the swing, the bad swing there and the swing on 12 where he hit it in the water. But boy, I don't know how people don't like watching that golf tournament. So anyway.
I think people were hoping for a little bit for the drama of it, the back 9 to last a little bit longer because QB had ended on 12. But some of the shots that I recall from Scheffler that were amazing was the par on 11 after Cam Smith birdied it to go 2 down. Yeah. It was also the scrambling par on 4, the 2-putt on 6, 60, 70 feet away that he made up that hill, Sunday pin placement, the birdie on 7 that he had Smith comes out and birdies 10-11, and boom, we're going into the back nine with all kinds of drama, and then it ended on 12. But Scheffler also hit a kind of a wayward shot on 12 and still made par. He birdied 14, which was an unbelievable second shot into that green, over the pin, rolled it back. Just to know where the ball goes on this course is so important. I think Tim Scott, his caddy, was very instrumental in helping him navigate through on Sunday, because as he admitted on Sunday morning, he cried like a baby because of how nervous he was and how he wasn't certain he could follow through and finish it. Even though the guy looked like a robot on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, he was very nervous on Sunday. I think he came out nervous, but really settled down, I think, with that birdie on 7. But the simple birdie on 14 and 15 ended it after Cam's mishap on 12. But let me say this about Cam Smith, man. This guy, I really wasn't following him before this year. You pointed him out before TPC. For him to be in the running on this tournament after TPC tells me he's going to be a threat pretty much in every major this year. And I also wouldn't be surprised if we saw Scheffler before the end of this year compete closely to win another major because of his game. Now that he's won the majors, a major and won in Augusta, tells me that he's on his way to greatness. And certainly Rory, who has never won the Masters but has won 4 major tournaments, looking for the career Grand Slam by winning the Masters in his early 30s with that 64 yesterday, which was about as perfect a round as you could have. Just think if he had birdied or doubled number 15 and gotten to within 1 or 2 strokes, I know Scheffler would have seen it up on the board. It didn't happen, but let's give him all credit. It was great golf. And Scheffler, who, won the tournament, was obviously, I think, the best golfer throughout the 4 days, and just a tremendous win for a guy that I think people can really lock onto and get on board with because of who he is and what kind of golf he plays. So I'm thinking we learned a lot about him this weekend, and we learned a lot about Cam Smith as well, because Smith still ended up tied for 3rd, could have fallen down to 7th or 8th easily, and will be back next year to try to win it again, or try to win it.
Yeah, Ruse Ogre State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. Speaking with JC on the Titan MR hotline. Got some Facebook Lives here I need to get to, JC. This one comes from John. He says the baseball team actually won a weekend series. Yes, they take 2 of 3 from the Arkansas Razorbacks. After getting blasted in game 1, they come back and win the 2. Arkansas was number 2 in America. So big win for them. Softball is down, will not win the series. They've lost the first 2 games against Alabama, losing extra innings yesterday. That game 3 is this evening. Rick says if Shane is not happy, no one is happy. Whatever that means. Lauren Meadows says, I keep telling people we have a long ways to go in football. We do. Joseph says, Napier said we have some talent. It's more of a consistency thing. Yeah. And he says, Jaden Hill had a good practice. He broke up numerous Jack Miller passes and think he even picked one. He's going to be good. Jaden Hill practiced, but he was in a non-contact jersey, so it's kind of hard to tell. I was there. I'm just going to leave it at this. We have a very, very long ways to go, and the only bright spot to me in the entire scrimmage was the running back from Louisiana. We didn't, like I said, we didn't get separation, and Trent Whittemore made some good he's solid. Coach Napier talks about to be a good Florida football player, you better be accountable, dependable, and consistent, and that's what Trent Whittemore does. Let's see. I had another here, Facebook Live. I wonder. Andy says we are turning him into a golf fan. Well, good. It's the greatest sport out there. Trust me.
Cool. Well, I mean, listen.
Do you know why I say it's the greatest sport in the world, JC?
I think you've said it, but you can remind me again if you want.
Because there is nobody calling back a touchdown. There's nobody calling. Is it a block or is it a charge? There's no election judge judging the balance beam.
There's no clock.
You have rules, and you play by the rules. Yeah. And then if you don't golf your ball, get your ass beat. It's
QB. I mean, it's true. And let's just say this about Tiger Woods. He did compete and he did finish. He beat 70% of the field to make the cut. But, you could tell he wore out. He just ran out of gas. I think we'll see him probably at St. Andrews for the British Open, which is a ways off still. It's the last major of the year. He's not sure.
Yeah, he's already said he's going.
He's going to that. So in that scene, it's easy. There's no doubt in my mind that St. Andrews would be easier for him and for everybody, really, because it's flat, because it's just an easier course, lengths, everything. And so he'll be in that. Whether he plays in Tulsa at Southern Hills is another story. But I think it really brought a lot to this year's tournament, having him back. There's no question the gallery and the patrons loved having him there. And, for the first 2 days, he brought an element of excitement to the tournament. The thing about Scottie Scheffler, though, let me just say this one last thing about him. When Spieth got hot and won when DJ won his one major, when some of these other guys, Rahm, they won, and then they kind of didn't disappear, but you didn't hear from them again, and you haven't heard from Spieth winning anything close after his third, which was impressive. But a lot of these guys, these young guys, as great as they are, they'll win one, and then they kind of, they hang around, and it takes a while to win another one, and it's very hard to win another one. I think Scottie Scheffler is going to be a guy that might win more, only because of the way he carries himself. And I don't know if it's any different than some of the other guys. But what Tiger did that was so great for 2 decades was that he stayed in the conversation of winning a major every single time he played it. And, after Dustin Johnson won his jacket, I don't know if he's really even been close in some of these other major tournaments. And nothing against Dustin. He's an incredible, unbelievable talent, but consistency at the majors is what makes people legends. And that's what Tiger did for 20 years. And that's why he's so different. Scheffler, I'm not saying will be Tiger Woods, but what Scheffler could be is a multi-major winner here in the next 3 to 5 years.
Let me ask you this, JC, because, I follow golf very closely. And Tiger's run, nobody probably ever did what he did for that 11-year span or whatever it was. But do you think the tour has more talented players? Now, everybody that plays on tour is extremely talented, but I just feel like the young crop that they have coming out in the last year or so is so much more talented and can win more consistently than when Tiger was in his heyday. Am I crazy to think that?
No. I think there's a lot of truth to that, and that might be why it's harder for these guys like DJ and these other guys to win multiples, because of how good everyone else is becoming, getting into the tour, getting on the roster. I mean, you look at Zalatoris, you look at Colin Morikawa. They are so young, but yet they are so talented, and I think you're right about that. I think there is certainly a higher level of play with the younger players than there may have been in the past. When Tiger won a PGA, he was the young guy, and some guy named Bob May was playing him. Rich Beam won a PGA, and then Rich Beam won a PGA tournament, and we never heard from him again. And so it was a flash in the pan story for some of the older players back when Tiger was running up the score on everybody, and maybe he didn't have the field. And I could be forgetting some of those great young players from back then, but I think you're going to see more winners, which means you're going to see less repeaters, because like you said, there's more players out there that have the capability of winning a major, of winning multiple tournaments. What Scheffler's done in literally less than 2 months is unheard of on a tour like this, where it's so limited to how many people could win, because in golf you have 125 some odd guys on tour, and that is it, dude. In baseball you have 500 something players. In basketball and hockey, you have more competitors. In golf, it's about 100 guys on the planet that can compete at this level. That's the odds of being that person are so astronomical. And then when we find somebody like this to do what he's done in less than 2 months, winning 4 tournaments, including this major, and holding on, winning over $9 million in just purse money. That doesn't include the off-field stuff that he's going to get now, and that he's been getting, is incredible. So yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about it. I mean, you look at these guys and the way they hit the ball, the shots that they can shape, the talent that they have with the short game is unbelievable. Will Zalatoris has got so much talent, and he is going to win. And same with Morikawa. He's already won a major. Has he won 2 or 1? He's won I think he's won 2 already. And he's a very young guy. So yeah, I don't disagree with that at all.
Got a text here on the Titan MR text line from Daryl. It says, "Good morning, guys. Gator fans, please be patient with the football team. They're a work in progress. Going to the Masters is on my bucket list." Yeah. You have to do that, Daryl. And yes, football is a work in progress, people. And I love everything Billy Napier and his staff and organization has done. It's going to take time. You're going to have to bear with them. I'm telling you, from a talent standpoint, depth standpoint, long ways to go. So I don't know what you're going to get out of Thursday night. I know it's going to at least be competitive, but splitting the teams up is going to really dilute the talent.
Did you say there was going to be a lot of recruits there and a lot of new potential Gators in the attendance on Thursday?
Yeah, that's why they moved it, to bring in more big-time recruits. Yeah. But here's the thing, JC. Yeah. Those recruits ain't helping you this year. Those are down the road recruits. The only people that are going to be able to help the Gators improve as a football team are sitting in that transfer portal. And I don't know who's in the portal.
Who's left?
He has made it very clear that he is going into the portal when spring football is over. So we shall see what happens there. Also, in the sports world, the NBA playoffs start Tuesday. Did you know that, JC? The NBA season ended last night.
That kind of crept up on me. What I did notice, though, that the Los Angeles Lakers, again, will not be in the playoffs. And I look at the playoffs and I start getting more excited in the National Basketball Association. I did enjoy watching Milwaukee win it last year. But the team that I follow and have always followed, that I rarely talk about, is the Boston Celtics. And the one thing I've noticed in their last month of basketball games is that they are scoring literally over 130 points, it feels like, every night they play. And that surprises me. Just look at their last 15 games and look at how many points these guys are putting up on the scoreboard. So they're somebody that I would definitely keep an eye on. But certainly the Milwaukee Bucks are the team to beat as defending champions, and the Phoenix Suns in the West. So that was the NBA Finals last year, and I don't think one person would be shocked if that's what we see again this year, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, and Tuesday and Wednesday starts that play-in tournament, which I still do not understand it at all. So that starts. But I'm going to give you one team to keep your eye on in the NBA playoffs: the Memphis Grizzlies. Keep your eye on the Grizzlies. They could cause some serious issues in the West.
Are the Warriors healthy?
Somehow they're in the West. I still can't figure out how the Memphis Grizzlies are in the West. But
no, that's silly. Are the Warriors healthy? I think Klay Thompson does play now. He's after 2 years off, and Curry, right? So the Warriors will be a team to keep your eye on as well. I don't think they're the top team in the West. I think Phoenix is, but I'd keep my eye on the Golden State Warriors.
Andy asked here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mental Law, does Billy Donovan have a shot at Coach of the Year? Bulls are much improved. They are, but no. Your Coach of the Year is probably going to be Monty Williams from the Phoenix Suns for what they've done. I mean, the Celtics' new coach, I don't even know his name. He's done a heck of a job as well. So Billy Donovan, I don't even think he's in the top 5 or 6 for that.
No, but the Bulls did get off to a good start. They are in the playoffs. I don't know how long they're going to last. So I just think, it's something that we just don't follow enough of or watch much of, and there's multiple reasons for that. But during the playoffs, it does get interesting. And if you like watching guys compete, if you like watching, certain games where there's drama at the end and excitement, I think the playoffs do provide you that. And the NHL hockey playoffs are going to start at the end of this month. So those two will be exciting to watch. And your Tampa Bay Lightning will be right there in the thick of it, trying to three-peat. I don't see it happening this year, Their team isn't as deep, but they'll be in the middle of it, so you just never know. It's the hockey playoffs. So hockey playoffs and NBA playoffs, they seem to last through May into June, and it goes on. But if you've got teams of interest, it could be fun to watch, and it helps you get through the early parts of summer as we, go through the slower time in sports with just basically baseball every night. So,
yeah. Daniel says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law, the NDA, No Defense Association, it's unwatchable. Now, hang on, Daniel. I know you're a Gator fan, and everybody bitches and complains the Gators can't score. So, would you rather watch the NBA play good defense, or people get up and down the floor? So, the NBA's changed with their rule changes and all that kind of stuff. They're high scoring now. I mean,
they are very high scoring.
Well, here's the thing: if you can't shoot, you ain't got a chance to even make a roster in the NBA, pretty much. So, those days of the Dennis Rodmans, just your lockdown defenders, those are over with.
Yeah, Bill Laimbeer. Go ahead.
Bill Laimbeer. Yeah, we're talking about the bad boys. Before we let you go, Major League Baseball has cranked up, started on Thursday.
Right.
There's one undefeated team in Major League Baseball right now after 4 or 5 games. Do you know who it is?
I would say it's the Tampa Bay Rays, maybe.
You're exactly right.
Wow. They swept the Orioles.
Probably couldn't name one player on their team, but they continue early in the season doing what they do, just winning ball games.
I mean, it's the greatest scouting department and scouting team in the history of baseball, playing in the worst stadium in baseball in a city that isn't even deserving of a team in St. Petersburg. I'm not saying Tampa, I'm saying St. Petersburg. And somehow playing with guys nobody knows of and winning baseball games with unbelievable pitching is one of the biggest stories of sports that nobody talks about. How Tampa consistently challenges for the postseason and wins that division. I just don't unbelieve. You've got the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Blue Jays in that division, and Tampa wins it. It's a great story. I just don't know how that organization functions with the lack of payroll, the lack of fan support. I don't know how it works, but it works.
It does. Alan says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law. Darn it, Shane, that's not what we want to hear. I think you got that poor mouth from Spur. You got to be wondering now if we can end up even on wins and losses. Also tell JC to take that hat off. It makes me sick to my stomach.
Okay,
JC is supporting the Longhorns in honor of Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, it's Scotty Scheffler. Plus, and listen, I understand it may make you sick to your stomach, and I know a lot of folks from Oklahoma and other places in Texas, like College Station, who can't stand these guys. I get it. Austin is just a messy town. But I'll tell you that they're coming to the SEC. It's going to happen sooner than later. I'm starting to believe it's going to happen before 2025, and I think that you're going to like having them around to go to or to watch come here and bring a lot of excitement to football in Texas for the SEC, because they're going to end up playing A&M at some point, and that's going to be as good as it gets. But listen, Texas is Scotty Scheffler played at Texas, so I have to at least acknowledge that. But QB, I just think that football, folks, just don't hit the panic button. But in your defense, I mean, you can only tell us what you see and what you don't see, right? You're not going to make up anything. You're not going to sugarcoat it. It's exactly what it is. I mean, when you see guys struggling out there, you have to tell us that. You can't just try to be the PR department for the University of Florida and say, oh, everything's going to be great. This guy will get it together. The question is going to be, will the Gator Nation give him the time and be patient to get the players that he has to get here to win football games? Will they do that? And
the best thing he said the other day to the media was, we had way too many penalties. To be a football player at the University of Florida, you got to be accountable, dependable, and consistent. And with them not doing that, that is a reflection of me as a football coach right now. I have to do a better job. You see how he puts it off on him and his coaches? there's another guy that used to say those type of things. It's not his fault. It's our fault. We put him in the game and didn't coach him up.
Yeah.
So anyway, real quick, JC, we got a text here on the Titan MR text line from Jim, and it's for both of us. He says, "Hey guys, what are y'all looking for out of the orange and blue game Thursday night?" I'll go first.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's just going to be fun. They're trying to get the student body involved, get people to come, get recruits there. It's going to be a night game. So I assume they're going to have tailgating on campus. Think about it. The game starts at 7:30. If people want to tailgate,
why wouldn't they?
Think about the Odom parking lot. They need to tell all those professors and students to get out of the parking lot if people want to tailgate. I don't know how that's going to work, honestly. But anyway, what I'm looking for is consistent play, no dumb penalties, no late hits, all that kind of stuff. I don't know how much you're going to be able to take out of this game, because a lot of people have asked me, well, the orange and blue game for you started your career. But the difference is, and Coach Spurrier will tell you this too, he walked into a loaded roster of a bunch of really good football players, a bunch of NFL guys. And he just had to coach them up a little bit, get a little bit of offense. I'm just telling you, they are not walking into a roster with NFL players. And that is the difference.
No, I guess I would just look forward to seeing who could step up offensively. I know defense is a problem. No, everything's a problem, right? But I want to see a guys just come out of the woodwork, kind of like you did. You came out of the woodwork. And so who's going to come out of the woodwork and be a guy that people can talk about this summer? Wow, that so-and-so was really fun. It was really special. Some very quick, great cuts, made yardage. I want to see a running back. I want to see somebody do something with the football in his hands other than Anthony Richardson trying to figure out and improvise. I want to see somebody do something like that.
Well, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you, because I don't know if they're going to let quarterbacks be live or not.
No.
But Anthony's going to make a bunch of runs, which is going to excite people. Again,
and then they'll touch him.
We need him to throw and complete passes.
Yeah.
Real quick, Joseph says on Facebook Live, if Dan Mullen can take the team he inherited and win 10 games in year one, then anyone can do it. Yes and no. But that team he inherited had a bunch of really good players on it. They're in the NFL now. I don't know how many guys on this roster can play in the National Football League. Andy asks, why was your first orange and blue game in Jacksonville? Because they were tearing up the turf and putting in grass is why. Okay, JC, before we let you go, I want to read This Day in Sports, which is brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business, peace of mind, our promise. Comfort Temp's now hiring team members with all levels of experience, great culture and benefits, and opportunity for growth. $1,000 signing bonus for qualified positions. Give them a call, 352-376-2366. This Day in Sports in 2021, last year, the 85th Masters Tournament, Hideki Matsuyama became the first Japanese male to win a golf major. He beat Will Zalatoris by one stroke. The reason I wanted to bring that up, I don't know if you saw the green jacket transfer or when you had Fred Ridley, the former Gator, who's the chairman. He's sitting there talking and sitting right next to Hideki. Hideki's face, his eyes were so, because he doesn't understand English at all.
Right.
Fred Ridley's just there talking about what a great run he had, and now it's time for you to put the jacket. I was laughing so hard I had to rewind it a couple of times. Hideki had no idea what the guy was saying.
But QB Hideki did address the Champions Dinner in English. I guess he rehearsed it
because he practiced. He practiced his speech.
Yeah, sure.
He practiced his speech because he can't speak any English and he doesn't understand any English.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he did look a little bit out of place, a little bit lost. But what a great talent he is. Love that dude. I'm a big fan of Hideki. And I did watch that in the Butler cabin. And they couldn't get his jacket on at first, but they did it better during the ceremony outdoors when he gave his victory speech. So they got it figured out.
Yep. So anyway, all right,
yeah.
Well, JC. Okay. Hopefully the Lady Gators can beat your Lady Crimson Tide tonight and at least get one game out of the series. So we shall see.
All right, my man. We'll see you Wednesday.
All right, that's JC. Join us on the Titan MR hotline. Going to take a time out, come back, get a bunch of these Facebook Live and texts that have been sent. You're watching and listening to Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Big Mills Cheesesteaks. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Football legend Emmitt Smith understands your joint pain.
It does not surprise me that there are a ton of people out there that's in pain.
That's why Emmitt is such a proponent of QC Kinetics, offering real lasting joint pain relief with non-surgical, all-natural biologic treatments.
Whether it's a joint pain, ankle pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, any kind of pain, the body eventually will break down when it's under that much stress.
That stress can cloud your judgment to the point that you'll just say yes to the scalpel or yes to another prescription of pain pills. But maybe it's time for a second opinion from QC Kinetics.
The reason why I would recommend this is because the natural biologics that QC Kinetics is providing you gives your body a chance to naturally heal itself.
Restorative, regenerative solutions are here. Get lasting relief and live your life.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration Point, that's where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Dave & Buster's, Bass Pro Shops, Hotel Indigo, Medici's, Escapology, Kilwin's, and the HBC's restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, where you can get 50% off a bottle of wine every Wednesday. We'll see you at Celebration Point, where the Gators go to celebrate. I want to thank JC for joining us on the Titan MR hotline. I apologize for all our golf talk, but we're going to make you folks love the Masters. We got a couple of Facebook Lives here brought to you by Meldon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. John says, I have more confidence in the defense this year than the offense. It's not by much, but I just feel more confident with that side of the ball. I don't know. The best player on defense, in my opinion, is Jalen Marshall Jr. I think he's a really, really good corner. I think for this defense, I think Brenton Cox has got to play at a high level and take no plays off and give tremendous effort on every play. Still, the defensive front really concerns me a lot. It's been not great over the last couple of years. And so we'll see. Lauren Meadows says, you could tell from the presser that Napier had concerns. That's part of his job. Yeah, he does a great job, though, as I said, Lauren, of answering questions. He doesn't ever talk about one particular player. He keeps it very general. But he knows that we have a lot of – I mean, he says it every time. We have a long ways to go, and I'm going to be active in the portal. Andy asked here on Facebook Live, Shane, when you were at the Skins, did you get to know Joe Theismann at all? He might have been doing TV then. I guess he gave Haskins the okay to wear number 7. That is very true. I did not. I mean, I'd met Joe a couple times at some golf outings. Yeah, he may have been doing TV, but you're right. Speaking of Dwayne Haskins, that's just a terrible tragedy. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, though, even if you run out of gas to walk across one of the most dangerous, I don't know, dangerous, but that 595 and I-95 section down there, I mean, it is busy as heck. So I don't know. I would have walked down the whatever side I ran out of gas on, walked till the next exit, but not crossing that place. Very, very sad. Only 24 years old, something like that. Heartbreaking. I know a lot of guys on Twitter were tweeting about it. Some of the NFL beat writers, the Adam Schefters of the world, and Gil Brandt, said some things they shouldn't have said. So anyway, our thoughts and prayers go out to the Haskin family for sure. I got a text on the Titan MR text line. Let's see who this is from. It's from Willie. Willie says, Shane, do you have much concerns about the offensive line for the Gators? You know, Willie, appreciate the text. It's kind of hard to tell, quite honestly. I'm not one who watches the trenches very much. I like to watch the skill players. I like to watch guys that are going to score touchdowns. We got some big guys over there. I will say this. I thought we ran the ball well. So the way the scrimmage was, first team O against second team D, second team O against the first team D. I thought the second team offense ran the ball pretty well against our first team D for a portion of the scrimmage. And like I told you, I really like the running back from Louisiana. He has tremendous vision, always seems to fall forward. Just a really, really good football player. And that's one of those things where, you know, people, well, why does he start? I don't know if he's going to start over him. I would start him. He would be my starting tailback in the few limited practices that I've seen. But, you know, there's people, why would he start over these 5-stars and coming from Louisiana? Let me tell you something. He is a good football player. At Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. Got another text here on the Titan MR text line from Billy. Billy says, Dane, appreciate your honesty and your analysis. Are you going to be calling the spring game with Mick? I believe the way we're going to do this is going to be Lee's going to do one more game with Mick. I'll probably be doing a little bit here and there, just chiming in, may go down on the sideline and do some stuff down there. I know take Casey be down there as well. So that is the plan right now, but I will be doing the games with Mick in the fall. Calling the spring game is probably hard, quite honestly, because you're going to have a bunch of dudes playing in this game, a lot of walk-ons, which I think is great, but you're not going to know who they are. And it comes from a depth issue as well. Let's see here. I got a Facebook Live. John says, brought to you by Melvin Law. Remember, Coach Saban struggled in his first season. He went 7-6 and lost to Louisiana Monroe before he turned things around. That is very, very true. John asks, is Lee retiring? Yes, Lee is retiring. He's been doing it a long time. And his grandson, his oldest grandson, will be going into high school, and he'll be wanting to watch him play on Friday nights. You can't do that when you're in the radio business because of travel. Andy asks, Shane Witt is interviewing himself on Wednesday if people want to get questions in. That is true. I'm glad you brought that up, Andy. Might be Trent's last. The semester is winding down, so his internship is coming to an end. I think he's done a tremendous job interviewing these guys, but he's going to talk a little bit about he and his family, his career. So if you have any questions, shoot them to us on the Titan MR text line, and we'll get those to Trent Whittemore, who, in my opinion, not because he comes on my show, but he is the most solid wide receiver we have on the roster. Remember what Coach Napier says, and I couldn't agree more. He's accountable, he's dependable, and he's consistent. And that's what you need out of your football players to have a good football team. I got a text on the Titan MR text line from Fred. It says here, by beating the number 2 team in the nation twice, will the Gators get ranked again and get their mojo back? They probably will get ranked. They still got a tough task ahead, Fred, heading into the next 2 weekends. The Tennessee Volunteers, it is amazing what they have not lost a conference game, and they are just mashing the baseball. You know, people joke about it, and I joked about it last year during the regionals. I forgot who they were playing. I tweeted, need to check their bats. But Tennessee is on a roll. So we have the Vols and Vandy the next 2 weekends. So that will tell a lot about the baseball team. But obviously, winning the series against the number 2 Hogs was crucial. The other question for Fred on the Titan MR text line says, Golden hit his first big transfer portal in Richards. Is this more of a sign to find? I'm not sure I can't read the rest of that text. But yes, if you missed it, Ty Golden gets his first commitment transfer from Belmont. And I love any transfer from Belmont, people. Because you know what? That means he can score. Belmont is always known for great offense and dudes that can shoot. They were also in the hunt for a big-time transfer out of Bradley that everybody in America wants. I know he was on campus, I believe, Saturday. I want to say he was at the scrimmage. And they're also in the mix for a kid out of Jacksonville. Last name is Fudge, who has been at LSU the last couple of years. Don't be surprised if he doesn't become a Gator as well. So I really like what Ty Golden and them are going to do. Got to give him time as well. But in basketball, boy, you can turn it around very, very fast, and I think he will. John says on Facebook Live, Tennessee has to be doing something illegal up there. Nobody goes 12-0 in the SEC. I know, John, it's crazy, man. And it's not like they're winning 2-1. They are mashing the baseball. So anyway, yeah, I don't know what's going on in Tennessee, but they've done a tremendous job up there. We're going to take our final time out of the program. When we come back, got a few more questions and comments here to wrap up. If you're watching and listening to Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avera and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit podupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Hi, Steve Spurrier here. You know, making a reservation at my restaurant is easier than a Saturday afternoon homecoming game against Vandy. You don't have to call or email. Just go to spurriers.com, hit the reservation button, pick a date, a number of guests, and a time. It's so simple, I can do it. In fact, I just did. Maybe I'll see you tonight.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. At South State Bank, we understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. South State has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. South State Bank, banking for, member FDIC. If you missed it, Scotty Scheffler won the Masters. Baseball took 2 out of 3 against Arkansas. Softball loses the first 2 games against Alabama. Game 3 tonight at KSP. Spring game is Thursday. Looking forward to that. I don't know how many people are going to be coming. Hopefully be a good crowd. We got a text here on the Titan MR text line. And Donnie, he says, after watching several San Francisco basketball games on YouTube, I'm pretty sure the basketball team will be just fine. Going to be fun. I agree, Donnie. I watched them play live in a couple of tournaments and stuff, and it'll be a good brand of basketball. He's going to bring in some really talented players, skilled players. Like I said, I still think he will sign 2 to 3 international kids that can really score the basketball, and that's something I think the Gator fans are hoping for. Text on the Titan MR text line from Todd. Todd says, who coaches the quarterbacks on Billy Napier's staff? Todd, Billy does. He has an analyst that helps, but he is the quarterback coach. He calls the plays, which I love, because you can see him at practice. After every play, he is in the quarterback's ear, not screaming or yelling. Just I'm watching from afar, but you can see him walking up and talking to the quarterback about their reads and things of that nature. So he being a former quarterback himself, I think that's awesome, because I'm a firm believer of a guy calling the plays and coaching the quarterbacks who have done it themselves. And I think Billy will do a great job there. But like you said, in order for a quarterback to be pretty good, you got dudes around you. And I'm not sure we got a lot of pieces that aren't fitting into the puzzle right now. Time will tell. Obviously, I think everybody knows the depth at the tight end position. I think we only have one scholarship tight end right now, Keon Zipperer. So they will have to address that. I don't know the other guys that are injured, Elksness and Jason Odom. I don't know when they're projected to be back, but I would look for us to sign someone in the portal. Before we get out of here, one more text. The Titan MR text line. We appreciate all these texts, folks. Ahmad, you said you couldn't name a single Tampa Bay Ray, but what about Mikey Z and the Santa Fe alum Ryan Yarbrough? That's true. I forgot about Zanino's down there, and Ryan Yarbrough played for Johnny Wiggs at Santa Fe College. But yeah, the Rays, man, they just fly under the radar and do what they do, win games, and we'll see. It's early in the season, but they are the only undefeated team in Major League Baseball right now. We mentioned NBA playoffs start tomorrow night. Should be interesting. The play-in games tomorrow and Wednesday. And I don't know when the regular playoffs. I would say they probably start on Saturday, I would think. So my dark horse, although I love the Phoenix Suns out of the West, or the Memphis Grizzlies. Love the way they play basketball, get up and down the floor for sure. I assume Ja Morant will be back. He's missed the last month or so. I assume he's coming back for the playoffs, but not sure if that's the case or not. If you got joint pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back that won't go away, you need to check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. Schedule a free consultation at QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. That's pretty much going to do it today for the program. We appreciate you chiming in. I know we had a lot of golf talk, me and JC, but we love the Masters. And I promise you, folks, if you ever get a chance to go to Augusta National, you need to. One more text came in before we get out of here from Jerry on the Titan MR text line. He says, how similar are Napier and Spurrier coaching-wise in your experience with both? Well, I haven't sat in meetings. I've just talked to Coach Napier. That's a great question, Jerry. I'll answer that after I watch more practices, and maybe in the fall when I can go out and watch when they have a ton of practices in training camp and things of that nature. I'll get back to you on that, Jerry. But we appreciate that text. Remind me come August to answer that. Hope you enjoyed today's program. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Take care.